I have a question that I think is going to body the argument that Xbox is leaving hardware, but not just for everybody, but for all the YouTubers and content creators. First of all, let me set up the stage for this particular paradigm. There are YouTubers, content creators alike, who claim that Xbox is going to abandon hardware. Their thought process is that their efforts to PlayStation and PC is what they're going to leverage and then abandon the research and development and the cost of developing hardware and then opt for the revenue that they can make from PC and PlayStation. Let's just say that they have a point. However, I want to show you that their point is mistaken because even they themselves as YouTubers and businessmen and women will not ever practice nor approve of such a decision. If they wouldn't do it, how do they imagine or envision that a $4 trillion company would do it? So what is it that I'm about to put in front of you? In front of you, I want to put my other YouTube channel, which is my main YouTube channel that I started the craft with. It's called the Gamer Dad channel. It's a YouTube channel dedicated to covering Tom Clancy's The Division 1 and 2. For 7, 8 years, I can't remember exactly, I made videos and learned the craft of the YouTube content creation on this channel. And the channel had basically found itself to have grown to about 35,000 and change subscribers. Shout out to all of you on the Gamer Dad channel. Don't worry. Hopefully, God willing, we're coming back when the Division 3 launches. I told you guys I was going to take a hiatus and go fight on the Video Game Fight School channel. And so some of you came and supported me. Thank you. But what if as I was publishing content on this particular channel, right, and reaching my own audience, then the biggest Division 2 content creator, Nothing But Skills, who has 2 channels dedicated to the Division. Actually, he's got more than 2, but he's got 2 that are mostly the main channels that come up on my feed. And he says to me, hey, the Gamer Dad guy, aka VG on this side of the planet, why don't you come publish some of your videos here on my channel and I'll give you 70% of the revenue. And I have the option to still publish on the Gamer Dad channel where I get 100% revenue. Would I abandon my publishing of videos on the Gamer Dad channel to go and get 70% of revenue on a bigger channel because there's a bigger audience and also the opportunity to make some revenue there? Every YouTuber, every content creator that would ever face this conundrum, if they ever did, would answer, hex nah. Simply because the prudent and the wise thing to do is to make my videos, publish on my channel, and if I choose, take on the offer, and not say Nothing But Skills is giving me this offer, by the way. And if you want Nothing But Skills, please go ahead and say hi, like his video 20 times on my behalf, because I think I put him on the spot. I'm not saying that that's what I want to do. This is just an example. It's an example. But ladies and gentlemen, these folk who are claiming that Xbox are going to leave the hardware business are basically insinuating that Xbox will trade the ability to make 100% revenue on a smaller platform and 70% revenue on a bigger platform, rather than actually add both of them and farm all revenue streams together. This is a litmus test that you must ask every single one of them. Every single one of them that has actually basically made this connotation, that is on YouTube, that does a podcast of some kind, will never ever agree to such a proposition. But they somehow think that Xbox is going to do it when Xbox has the means and has already been and still is in the position where it's showing them that its grand plan is to actually farm dollars from the audience of other platform holders, PlayStation, Nintendo, Steam, if possible, maybe Epic Games, maybe freaking Good Old Games if they want to, and then also getting revenue from their own pockets. All of the evidence actually stands to show you that that's the direction that they're going. However, there are people who choose to think otherwise. This is what makes the conversation quite convoluted at the end of the day. There are people who believe deep down that somewhere, somehow, Xbox is in a position where they want to go ahead and abandon or forfeit that revenue because in their minds, their consoles have only sold 30 million units. Guess whose YouTube channel also has about 30-something thousand subscribers? Yours truly. But I'll never substitute that for going to exchange to get 70% of revenue on another YouTube channel that I do not control, that I do not hold the terms on how things are done there, that has a bigger audience than I. This is why I will not find myself in this hypocritical position to claim that Xbox is going to do it. Neither would the so-called pundits even dare to do it. because I can guarantee you I'd make them that offer. I'll say, hey, look at this channel. You want to come publish over here and then basically delete your YouTube channel after all the work you've done and all the subscribers that you have? They're not going to do it. The reason they're not going to do it is because it's highly insane. Because what would the people who have invested time and invested money and invested effort and invested their attention into your own ecosystem, how would they feel? Even if they migrated to the new channel, they'd probably purposefully downvote your channel, your videos on that channel to make sure that you are not getting the so-called revenue that you probably thought you were going to get. You're going to get a feedback of negative proportions that it's not going to work out for you. This is why I continue to make this argument, because it's one that's based on the data. Xbox is making significant amounts of money on its hardware, supporting both a cross-generational paradigm and an outside console paradigm altogether. Adding those means of actually making revenue is the way to go. Now, let me go ahead and put the other side in front of you. Imagine another proposition. Somebody says, hey, the gamer dad guy, aka VG on this side of the planet, and says, why don't you go ahead and start publishing your videos on another monetizable platform? Okay, so you can publish it on a bigger YouTube channel that has more subscribers than you, get 70% of that revenue, go publish on another platform, get maybe 80 or whatever percent of that revenue, right? Or maybe 50%, I don't know, YouTube, it's 45, 50, YouTube takes 45 or so. And then you could still keep your 100% of the 45% on YouTube to yourself. That's a proposition that makes sense. In fact, many of those folk are doing the exact same thing. They have a Patreon where they publish their content on outside of YouTube and makes them money as well. And yet they think that Xbox is going to go ahead and somehow abandon the hardware while they themselves are not abandoning their core audience base that makes them money. If this sensible piece does not resonate to the whole $4 trillion company, then I can, in my opinion, comfortably say that a lot of people who are making this claim probably have no clue how business works, or they understand how business works and they're being purposefully facetious, or because it's Xbox, they want to pretty much go ahead and force their wishful thinking into reality. You'd have to warp and bend time. As this company is over here looking for money wherever it can get it, they're interested in launching games on watches and calculators if they could, but they're not interested in throwing away billions of dollars. That would be imprudent and quite stupid at the end of the day. And everybody knows this. This video is probably not even necessary in the grand scheme of things, but I think we're just in a world where some really basic and straightforward things have to be said. And this is where the sad reality comes into play. Anyways, ask them. If you hear them on a podcast, if you hear them in a video, if you hear them or see them or read a tweet from them or a post from them that insinuates this, ask them this simple question. Will you delete your YouTube channel for the prospects to go publish your videos on a bigger YouTube channel for 70% of that revenue? See what they say. Thanks for watching the video. Peace out.